It's the South Florida Morning Show with Jennifer Ross and Bill Adams on News Talk 850 WFTL.
Here's one slammed into left field. How about that start to the World Series? Soler will take the trip.
That was kind of cool. First batter, home run. Braves get the win last night. Game 1 of the World Series, the Fall Classic.
That was sweet. They said it was the first time in history that the first swing resulted in a home run at the World Series.
Outstanding.
That's
I know
pretty
it's
cool.
rare. I didn't know it was history.
That's pretty
great.
cool. What's even better is because who was the other guy that Al? I don't know what his name is, but one of the players stole a base. So that means you get a free taco.
Yes.
November
Yo quiero
4th.
Taco Bell.
November 4th, free taco at Taco Bell. Steal a base, steal a taco.
Totally take advantage of that.
Ozzy Albies is when he did it, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I don't know.
He's the guy that did it for the Braves. So
I don't
good
care.
for
I get
them.
a taco. That's
You
all
get
I
a
care about.
Free taco.
What
November
a great
4th.
promotion that turned out to be for Taco Bell, though. They've been doing it for years.
I was going to say, this has been going on a long time. And I remember there were a number of years there where no one got stole a base. So you didn't get a free taco. So,
right.
I mean, they got all that extra publicity because the commercials and all the advertising. When they first started it, the sportscasters talked about it all the time.
Yeah, they did. They got
You
a
know.
lot of free play out of
Yeah,
that.
so it was a good move on Taco Bell's part.
A lot of free play, like right now, us talking about it.
It's so true. So true.
They're going to give away too many tacos. They're going to have to up the ante. Steal home, get a taco.
That could be it. Or steal 2 bases, get
Steal
a taco. You know, it's going to
Steal
be one
third,
of those.
suicide squeeze, get a taco.
There you go.
I thought it was pretty cool. Go Braves. That would be awesome.
Last week we talked about, I think it was Rochelle Walensky. Actually, it was this past weekend because she was on Meet the Press or Meet the Nation or Hello to the Nation, whatever show it was, and she said a third of American parents are beating down the door, calling the CDC every day because they can't wait to get their 5-year-old a vaccine.
Baloney.
And I went, you're lying.
Baloney.
I don't know anybody who's rushing to get their kid a vaccination. And now the CDC is this close to saying it's okay for kids 5 and older to get a shot.
This thing has been green-lighted months ago. This is all just a formality now.
I think so. You know, the FDA advisory
Yeah.
panel said yes yesterday. It goes to the full FDA. From there, it goes to the CDC. And then Rochelle Walensky, the director of the CDC, has the final say. I think by the end of the week, it'll be approved across the board.
Oh, I think so. So, news partner, WPTV, News Channel 5, they went to, I think it was downtown West Palm yesterday, went on the street, getting some reaction from moms. I don't think they found anybody that actually wants this thing. Here's what some of the moms said.
I wouldn't give a vaccine to a child, especially a new vaccine. They don't need it.
I wouldn't give my kids any of the vaccines, Pfizer or any of them, Johnson & Johnson, none of them. I don't think it's good for the kids.
You know what's next? You know, they're going to be shocked, and all of a sudden there'll be news stories popping out. Well, the CDC, the FDA can't understand why parents aren't lining up to have their kids get the shot.
Oh.
And then there'll be mandates.
Yes.
And then there'll be threats. And then there'll be PSAs. And then there'll be, all the kids requirements. You can't go to school unless you get it.
How many young Disney actors and actresses are they going to have doing the PSAs? I got my shot,
Sure.
so I can go to school.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it's going to be. Because, this administration is going to say, whether it's earlier than the beginning of next year, I don't know. I'm assuming by next year, admissions, they're going to say, your kid can't go to school unless he or she is vaccinated with the Moderna shot.
I think it was the goal all along, quite frankly, to be honest with you, to get to this demographic.
Could very well
Started
be.
with the old people because that was an easy sell. Then they ran into some trouble with young, healthy adults. Then nobody, it was way less than they thought. And then that's when all the mandates started. And then they got to the kids. This is a much bigger market for Big Pharma. Let's face it.
28 million.
That's not conspiracy anymore. Come on now.
28 million American children fall into this category.
And they're making new ones every year.
Yeah. By the way, it's Pfizer that got it okayed. Moderna will be next. They're going to be next in line to ask for emergency use.
Yep.
So then by January, you'll have two companies you can pick. And Johnson & Johnson will be up there in the near future as well.
We wait. Pushback's coming.
Can you blame them? If it's my granddaughter, it's not happening.
No, I wouldn't. No.
And
My kids are teens, so, it's the only reason why I let them get the shot. Because at the time, I thought, this is the best gamble against this thing. We don't know if it's man-made. Is it weaponized?
True.
They do have a vaccine. It seems to be safe so far. Little kids, there's never been any data whatsoever that they need to get it or they're even a threat to be seriously infected by this or spread it on.
Right. And by the way, granted there were deaths related to COVID, but was it like the Colin Powell situation that the children, and there weren't that many. Of the 28 million, it was just over 100 that died across this nation from COVID-related illnesses. But did they have something else? Like Colin Powell, they said he died of COVID. He had cancer.
He had blood cancer.
It's like in your friend whose husband passed. Sad story. Did he have cancer or he had a heart attack? I forgot what it was.
Died of a stroke.
And they said he died of COVID, and she wouldn't sign the death certificate, right?
Ready to go to court to change that. She goes, "You're not doing that. You're not going to lie about his cause of death."
Wow.
No, multiply that across the country. It's not all cases. Imagine how often it happens.
Oh my God! I bet you it happens 100 times a day in each hospital.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's ridiculous.
Jeez. I saw this story, and I thought of your wife.
Yeah, Lauren will at some point shoot me for playing guitar too much. It's probably years away, but it's coming.
Do you play every day?
Yeah. In Ohio, sounds sad to say, but I kind of wish this was a Florida story. It just seems like a would-be one, right?
It should be.
79-year-old guy. In all fairness, he's hard of hearing.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe this is why, though.
Wow.
He's 79. He's accused of shooting, accidentally,
Yes.
his 50-year-old son because he wouldn't stop playing guitar.
Okay, let's look at the dynamics here. Why is the 50-year-old son living with the 79-year-old father?
That's a good point.
Or is it maybe the 79-year-old dad needs help and the 50-year-old's helping out?
Well, he shouldn't be shooting the homeowner then. I don't know whose name is on the deed, but here's the 911 call.
911, what's the emergency?
I accidentally shot my son here.
Is he awake?
I cannot understand the word you're saying.
Is he
Oh, my God.
All right.
awake?
Yes.
I need to know where he was shot at. Was it the head, the arm, the chest, the leg?
Yeah, it's in his side.
It's in his side. I missed all the vital organs. But the old man, I can't hear you.
I can't hear a word you're saying. The son will come out with a story tomorrow. I wasn't even playing guitar.
It was the radio.
It was the radio. It was ringing it. He had the hearing aid up too much.
Oh, my God.
I love how the dad there said in his side. It's almost like he's saying, it's just a flesh wound.
Right.
But I thought I'd call.
Well, what, sir? Is it in his head? What? Nah, it's in his side.
It's fine.
I need you to get an ambulance.
Just send somebody over here.
Just give me some gauze.
Oh, God.
Kid's gonna be okay, by the way.
Well, that's good.
There will be no charges. This is why we could laugh about it.
Wow.
Oh boy,
It was an accident.
man. You know what happens. All right, here's a feel-good story.
Yes.
I think everybody at this point in American culture knows what Spanx are, right?
I think every woman in American culture owns some.
I think so. I think you're right.
Just saying.
What an invention.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because of the value of that company that this lady started, did you say in her garage?
I think she started like in her kitchen, yeah.
It's valued at over $1 billion now, and all the employees benefited yesterday. It's actually a cool story.
It's a great story.
We'll get that in some headlines. Next, the South Florida Morning Show. Keep it here. News time coming up again, 8:30, Karen. What's coming up?
We're going to have an official update in last week's deadly movie shooting. Alec Baldwin, who, do we say allegedly shot these people?
Oh, he did shoot him.
Well,
I
he
think
did
that's
shoot her.
I think
Yeah.
that's confirmed.
So that's expected today. The sheriff in New Mexico and the district attorney will reveal where the investigation stands because there could be obviously civil lawsuits filed.
Sure.
Because they'll go after, it's a Netflix show, Alec Baldwin, but he could be liable for some sort of a criminally negligent homicide. Manslaughter.
Even Dershowitz came out and said that that's a possibility.
Absolutely.
Well, do they blame him for not checking the gun?
Well, anytime you point a gun, there's an assumption of risk there.
Right.
Right? There's risk.
Right.
And that's a problem for him.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so he was rehearsing the scene, of course, and he fired so now they're saying he did fire it. I heard it might have just gone off and killed the cinema. He was practicing it.
The scene.
It was practicing
And he
the
shot
scene,
it
yeah.
at the camera, right?
Which makes
Yeah.
sense why the cinematographer would be right in front of him trying to set up the shot, so to speak, the other kind of shot, and try to get the right angle. So it's...
and then you got to think about the bullet because this
Right.
literally was a through and through.
Yes, it
so
was.
he was either very close or it was a pretty powerful gun. One of the two. And because then it hit the director who was standing behind the cinematographer.
Yeah, it went through her chest into him. Wow.
Man.
So we'll find out. That's going to be
sad.
really interesting to find
Yep.
out what happens. But this guy, in a matter of half a second, he changed the life of one person. She's dead, but his life will forever be changed by this.
That's right.
Forever. And we're coming.
Thank you, Karen. Appreciate it. See you for news. 10 minutes away, News Talk 850 WFTL. Speaking of that, and more on that story, remember the 911 call we had from the set?
Right.
It sounded like this, Jen?
San Jose Fire and EMS wants to locate to the emergency. Bonanza Creek Ranch has had 2 people accidentally shot on a movie set by a prop gun. We need help immediately.
That person who made the call
Yeah.
has lawyered up.
Yeah. And the woman she hired? Oh God. Gloria Allred.
I can't believe she... Oh, my God.
And I'm just trying to, her name is Mamie, M-A-M-I-E, is that Mamie? Mitchell. She's a script supervisor for the film.
Okay.
So I'm like, why are you hiring Gloria Allred? I don't get it. Are they trying to say that somehow she's involved? I don't know. But Allred's firm, Allred, Morocco, and Goldberg, they're doing an independent investigation. So they've hired their own investigators to go in and figure out what happened. So it's gonna be interesting. But I'm trying to figure out why this mammy chick even hired Gloria Allred.
Maybe they've contacted her. I don't know. I thought she just did sexual harassment things now.
I thought so too. I guess not. I guess she's getting into the criminal world. One never knows. But they're saying that the assistant director who handed Baldwin the gun, according to who was it? You had the tweet from.
Do you remember Kirstie Alley?
That's it.
She hasn't done a lot recently.
Yeah, I think everybody remembers her from Cheers.
She said something really interesting. She tweeted this out last night. She says, no AD, she means assistant director, yells cold gun, which is what they're claiming from the set, right?
Right, that when they say cold gun, that means there's no ammo in it.
Kirstie says, she goes on to say, the armorer or prop person is supposed to personally show you the gun so you can see it's empty for yourself. Then I dry fire it into the ground. I have never been handed a gun by an AD, and I've been handed 100 guns. I've never heard cold gun in 40 years of working in Hollywood.
Holy cow. Now they're also saying that the girl that was the armorer on the film, that on a previous film with Nicolas Cage, she apparently walked off on a set and just fired a blank, I guess, and it was right next to Nicolas Cage to the point where he was screaming at her, saying, "What the hell are you doing? You just blew out my eardrums." He walked off the set.
All right, regardless, I think what we can gather from this is this set was a mess.
Yeah.
They didn't follow any protocols of anything.
And that's where Alec Baldwin's going to be in trouble. It's his film. He is the money man behind this film. And I would assume if you're the producer, you have a lot to say, or the director. You probably hired this guy. You hired the cinematographer. And you hired the armorer and the assistant director. So it should be interesting to see what happens. He could be in a whole bunch of trouble. Granted, it was a horrific accident, but still there's precautions that you can take. So,
Man.
It's sad. Sad. What was even closer to home, what we haven't mentioned, and I know you want to get to the story about the woman who started the business and gave great bonuses to employees. In Broward County yesterday, the school board voted high school kids can opt out of wearing a mask if they have a note from their parents, which means Broward County, I would assume, since they have that for high school, do they qualify for state funding again? Or does it have to be every class? Because middle school and elementary school, they have to wear a mask because the vaccine isn't available yet for those kids until Monday.
So you could, oh my God. So you could have a middle school student and a high school student separated by a year.
Right.
One of them can live like a normal teenager.
If
the other one is going to be masked up like a hostage.
Right.
Same school system.
Yeah.
Make some from the same house.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you like that? I'm just saying. God. Yeah, you got to write a note if you don't want your kid to wear a mask.
Well, it's still, at least it's progress, maybe.
So
Can we
true.
call it that?
Well, what happens then in next week when the shot's available for, elementary school kids and somebody in the 6th grade says, I got my kid a shot. I don't want him to wear a mask. And they say, oh, no, it's mandated. Now there's going to be another fight.
The fight may start right here in South Florida.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
It's not going to be pretty.
All right, the Spanx story is great. Now, you had said that the founder, Sarah Blakely, started this in her garage.
Yeah, I saw her years ago. You know who made her really popular?
No.
Oprah.
And now we move on to this, where it's been a big deal, I guess, in the business world. I kind of followed this in the business channels. They didn't know where to evaluate this. A business has to get an evaluation for what's public and all. It's a big deal, whatever makes that decision. Well, the decision's in. It's worth $1.2 billion.
Not bad for a business started in a kitchen.
How do you celebrate? Wow. Give each of your employees $10,000 and a round-trip ticket to anywhere you want.
For 2 first-class round-trip tickets. Oh, my God.
Here's where she announced it.
To celebrate this moment, I have bought each one of you 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world.
It does sound like it's all women.
I think it is.
She does sound like it does sound like an Oprah show. You get a car and you get a car and you get a car. And then she went on to say, well, once you get there, you got to, get a hotel and you want to go to a nice restaurant. So I'm going to give you $10,000 each.
How about that?
She has 750 employees.
I bet you they're all women.
They might be. They might be. Good for them.
It sounded like an Oprah audience.
Good for her.
That's awesome.
Sarah Blakely.
It's a great American story, by the way.
It really is. Good for her.
More headlines coming up next, but thanks to the Atlanta Braves, we're all getting a free taco.
Yes. Write down the date.
It doesn't end at one taco, though, right? Does the promotion go on?
No, I think it's just
that's
one.
it?
Yeah, that's it. When do you eat one taco? So you're going to go to Taco Bell, you're going to get, well, give me that one free taco, but give me a number 7, give me a number 9. Oh,
while I'm here.
A couple of, throwing a couple of quesadillas. Come on.
All right, we got that and more coming up next. The South Florida Morning Show. This is Jen. I'm Bill. Keep it here.
I wouldn't give a vaccine to a child, especially a new vaccine. They don't need it.
I wouldn't give my kids any of the vaccines, Pfizer or any of them, Johnson & Johnson, none of them. I don't think it's good for the kids.
There's a couple of moms our news partner, WPTV, found on the rough and tumble streets of West Palm yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's going to, you know what? I listened to Rochelle Walensky, Dr. Walensky, who is the director of the CDC, on the Sunday morning talk show circuit say, we have a third of all American parents literally calling the CDC on a daily basis because they can't wait to get their 6-year-old a shot.
That's
and I'm like,
no, sorry,
no, I don't believe you.
No, a third of all families, no. There's no way.
Of the 28 million kids that fall into the category between 5 and 11.
No,
28 million. So
not buying
a third of that, yeah, sure. I'm thinking no, that's not happening.
Nope.
It's not.
I think this whole thing yesterday with the approval, that's just a formality. They approved this months ago. Are you kidding? They probably just got together and had lunch yesterday.
It could very well be. It was the FDA advisory board. Now it goes to the full FDA. They'll probably say yes because they traditionally follow what the advisory board says, with the exception of when they talked about booster shots. That was the only difference. They just limited it to 65 and plus and those in high risk. But in this case, I think they'll go full board. They'll say yes to the Pfizer vaccine. Then it goes to the CDC, and they're going to say yes. They're saying they don't get it until next week, and then it has to be approved by the director, Rochelle Walensky, and she's going to say yes. So maybe by the middle of next week, you'll have a shot available for your kid.
Didn't take long, really, when you think about it.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No. And they only tested this on 2,000 kids. I don't know.
Who lined up for the test for that? Tell me what you're going to get out of being a guinea pig for this test with your kid.
Remember we had that story, that Broward doctor, her kid, I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, but her little kid was part of the trials. Remember we had the conversation, we're like, would you do that? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Really don't.
I give you credit if you did.
Not at that demographic. Old folks, absolutely. Even adults like us, yeah, absolutely. I thought it was the best decision to make. Even with my kids or teens, I thought that was okay. Little kids, 5-year-old kid with this thing? Why?
Why? Well,
somebody tell me why.
Well, you know what? The problem is they have yet to prove to the United, and no one asks questions anymore. You're right. This administration has kind of pushed everybody down and said, God forbid you ask a question. I want to see statistics, viable statistics that say little kids, if they don't get vaccinated, are going to die from COVID-19.
Yeah.
Show me the proof. And if that were the case, how many children, 28 million of them, haven't been vaccinated, have died from COVID? If you listen to the CDC, they say just over 100. But could it be they had other underlying conditions? We don't know because they don't tell you that.
They'll never tell you that.
And
no
granted,
way.
it's a tragedy when a child dies
of course it is.
in any way, shape, or form. But if it's on, and I'm not downplaying deaths by any stretch of the imagination, but statistically, if it's 110 children out of 28 million that died from COVID-related injuries, or, was it COVID that killed them? Was it a cancer they already had? Were they a transplant recipient? Whatever the case may be. You don't know. That's a minuscule amount.
It's not a crisis. It's not.
Put it this way. If it were a disease, say some new disease crops up, and in 1 year, 100 kids die from it, they wouldn't even spend a cent to do research on how to cure it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're right. Probably not.
Because not enough people are infected.
Right.
So it's proof to me it's going to kill these kids. Or get them sick, or do something. I don't know.
They haven't proven it. They'll never prove it. You'll never hear that. And no. This isn't like we're talking about old people. They absolutely needed this vaccine.
Yes, or overweight people.
Not children.
No.
Sorry. And in the fight for against vax mandates, by the way, somebody else has joined the fray here and is supporting Kyrie Irving, the basketball player. Floyd Mayweather Jr., the boxer.
Really?
Here's what he says.
I know you're going through a lot. You only want to be treated fair because you're a great person, great father, and you believe what you believe. America is the land of the free, freedom of religion, and supposedly freedom to choose. I respect you for having some integrity and being your own man.
That was his direct message, I think on Instagram or something, to Kyrie Irving.
How do you like that? Kyrie's getting a lot of support.
He sure is.
I wonder if any of his friends are sending him money.
No.
Because I heard he's going to be hurting. He's not making that $10 million a game.
Oh, he has 2 mansions now?
Yeah, he's got to get rid of the other 6.
I mean, it's easy to make fun of him, but still, there's somebody who's putting his money where his mouth is.
There is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it, because most of these, especially basketball players, they're very vocal.
Yeah.
And then they cave. They're usually very vocal for other reasons. So, anyway, we shall see. But good for Kyrie. And I don't think I've yet to meet a parent who's going to get a 5-year-old vaccinated. That's just in my world. I don't know.
I don't think they're there. I don't know. Some of them will, of course.
Well, until the mandate comes in,
right,
and then
exactly.
your kid can't go to public school. So that's eventually down the line.
It's all right. We are going to Taco Bell on November. What is it again?
4th, I do believe.
Steal a base, steal a taco.
Well, you know what?
Got done in the first game.
It got done early. It's the 9th annual for Taco Bell. Steal a base, steal a taco. On November 4th, you can stop by Taco Bell and pick up a free Dorito Locos taco.
It's a very successful promotion. Not all of them work. This one, though, gets so much free play. Like right now when we're talking about it.
And it's not only that, but who eats one taco?
Right, exactly.
So you go to get a free taco and you think, okay, well, number 9's looking pretty good. Can I get number 9? Oh, by the way, throw in a couple of quesadillas. Oh, and those little burritos. I like those burritos. To throw some of those in, too. The next thing you know, you're dropping an extra $15, $20 at Taco Bell because they gave you a free taco that cost them probably about 50 cents to make.
It's really smart.
It's a brilliant campaign. So good for Taco Bell. So November 4th, though, we'll all be going to Taco Bell to get a free taco.
If they steal more bases, can we get more tacos?
No.
Or is it over?
I think it's over.
Really?
I think
That's it?
I think it's just one base.
What a jip!
Yeah, that's how I looked at it, too. Taco Bell isn't that generous. I really wonder how many. I would love to see statistically how many tacos they give away.
Oh, I think they told us last year. It was in the millions, I think.
Was it really?
It was huge.
Wow, good for them.
Like you said, most people don't just stop. Okay, that's my one. See ya.
See you later. Yeah, well, and even if you get one taco, you get a drink. So you're spending something. So you're offsetting the free taco. For Taco Bell, it's brilliant. And then look at the traffic they get.
Yeah, you might become, this might be your first trip ever to Taco Bell. You might become a fan. Who knows?
Could very well be.
Or you might hate it. Who knows?
I don't know about that. But
Speaking of the World Series, controversy has arrived. Oh,
what?
Boy, they started this. One guy in Houston last night had a sign saying the tomahawk chop is racist.
It's racist?
So now the woke sports media has re-earthed the tomahawk chop, can't pronounce that today, controversy.
Oh, well, did he go to Florida State?
Yeah, right.
Let him go hang up a sign over there and see what happens to him. College campus kids would run him over.
It's the exact same chant.
It is. It sounds like it.
Get into that. It was a good game, though. Talk about that a little bit. And the value that this event brings to the city. Jen's got a stat on how much this brings to at least Houston. We'll hear about Atlanta later, too.
I would assume Atlanta is just as much. I heard this statistic. I can't talk now. That statistic this morning, I went, whoa. And that was like just 2 games. Mm-hmm. It's like, holy cow. Big bucks.
That and more coming up next. The South Florida Morning Show. Keep it here. News time. Not yet. Soon. 12 minutes, in fact. What's coming up, Karen?
Well, we were talking sports in the break, so I figured we'd just continue it on. This is my last break. But tonight, game 2, it was funny because everybody across the board, Alex Rodriguez, I know you love him, and all of the announcers were like, oh, we're going with the Astros in 6.
Good. You keep on going with them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Braves. I really do.
Hope it does. They seem to be a team of destiny.
They are.
They had horrific injuries this year. They're not even playing with Acuna, their star player, and they made it this far?
Yeah.
And then they lost that guy last night, the pitcher, right?
Yeah.
Charlie Morton.
And then apparently Hank Aaron was on the team and was working with the coach that is now the manager who's now the manager, whatever. So there's like that backstory with Hank Aaron. That's kind of cool. And then there's the Pearls. Hello.
Yeah, they got that
How
story
did John
going.
Peterson do last night? How did he do?
He actually did something dumb. He was on second base and he ran to third, and he should have just stayed on second base because they were going to let the other guy run in for a home run. Anyway.
I'm blaming the third base coach.
Okay. He ran and got tagged out. Anyway.
The Pearls got in his way.
But the Pearls were fine.
Pearls slowed him down.
For another pearl of wisdom.
Yeah, and they had the All-Star game stolen from them. It was a big story.
Yes,
so this is some kind of revenge thing. It's karma.
There's always karma.
I'd love to see him win.
Yes. And so game 2 tonight, and they're going to take the field without their starting pitcher. As you just said, he got hit by a ball.
There's a comebacker right up the middle.
A comeback.
But listen, Charlie Morton stayed in the game. He got 3 outs after that happened.
Come on.
With a broken tibula? Not fibula, tibula. Tibia.
Yeah, I broke that.
That hurts.
I broke
Stivia.
I broke those when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, I was on a swing set glider and I slipped down. The whole thing came back and hit my legs, and I tried to walk and I'm like screaming, "My bones are moving!" My mom, who's a nurse, says, "The bones in your head are moving. Get up."
God.
Wow.
I ended up with
so much.
a leg cast like from my hip down.
Wow.
It was really awful.
God.
So that's what I have to say about this guy, Morton. Get back on the mound.
Yeah.
Stop belly aching.
Rub
Oh
some
my
dirt on it,
God.
kid.
Exactly.
Karen survived the swing.
That more coming up.
All right, thanks, Karen.
Poor
Appreciate it very much.
Katrina. Do you like that to Katrina, your daughter?
Every time I hear a story about Karen's childhood, it's like, wow, that was rough, man.
Yeah, she had a rough childhood. Jeez, you kidding me?
Dad,
and that usually passes on to your children, so I'm figuring poor Katrina. Did she have the same thing?
Yeah, she was walking across the playground at school at Westminster Academy and broke her femur. I did not tell her to
jeez.
shake it off, but I always broke something or needed stitches the day before we went on vacation. Never failed. I broke my leg. I had stitches in my head, everything. And it was always on a swing set.
Man, you would
Stay
think they
away
would
the
take the
swing
swing set away, but no.
Really?
All right, thanks, Karen. See you for news in a little bit. News Talk 850
Wow.
WFTL. Speaking of the Braves,
Yes.
oh, they're on the big stage now, so it's given the woke sports media a chance to bring up controversy again. It's what they do, of course.
For what?
One guy held up a sign in Houston last night.
One guy.
It said, "The tomahawk chop is racist." So it has started all the articles and all the hot takes, and it's just a terrible thing.
And they do this at every Atlanta Braves game?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. They do it at every Florida State game?
It's the exact same chant,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Okay. So, Mr. Sign, go home.
This
it's
is so
not
stupid.
disrespectful. It's not racist.
Apparently, even Major League Baseball, as woke as they are, they're not going to take this up.
Well, good.
They're not going to win. You got to stop, a legacy of people doing this in the fan. Even if you stop it officially, they'll just break out and chant and start doing it.
Well, and even more defiant, college kids. So go tell all the kids at Florida State they can't do the tomahawk chop
Well, they'll
anymore.
never try to stop them. But, I mean, in Atlanta with a pro crowd, they're not going to stop it.
It's crazy. Don't stop it. Well, especially considering the World Series. I heard on the way in for Houston, the first 2 games, Houston, they say, from all the people in Houston and all the people from Georgia who have gone to Houston, $61 million.
Wow.
Is the city's going to make. And that's just for the first 2 games. So Atlanta gets that many, right? 2 games? Or is it 3 when they go
now?
there?
Well, now they're guaranteed 3. It's 2. Diener, I always forget this. It's 2-3-2, right?
I'm almost positive.
I think it's 2-3-2. So that means with a win, yeah, they get guaranteed at least 3 if they need it.
So just think what that's going to do to the economy in Atlanta or in Georgia. because it's like when the Super Bowl comes here, people have to book hotel rooms, like at least in Palm Beach County, if not further north from the stadium.
Exactly.
Because everything's booked in Broward and in Miami-Dade, so they have to keep moving away. So that affects a huge area.
Yes, it does.
And after, you know what, and I hope that little area outside of Atlanta, they got screwed by the All-Star game, they make up for it. And if they're still open, because a lot of those people were banking on the All-Star game to save their businesses.
This is why I root for them so hard. It'd be great.
And I can confirm,
yes,
according to MLB.com,
yes,
that it is 2 games for the Astros, 3 at Atlanta, then 2 at Houston if it goes 7.
I think they finally settled on 2-3-2.
Yes.
For a while they were doing 2-2-1-1-1. Too much travel.
Right, yeah, that's too much back and forth. Thursday's the travel day, then they play Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Atlanta.
Jeez.
If it goes 5, which probably will, at least.
Get the weekend business.
Atlanta will wrap it up at home.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go to 6 and 7.
Could you imagine if they went Halloween night in Atlanta?
Ooh.
5 games?
Spooky.
Yeah. If it does go 7, we have November baseball, by the way.
Which we've had.
We have, yeah.
That's right. Next week's November.
That's right.
I know, it's crazy.
Do you realize Christmas is right around the corner? I wrapped your gift yesterday.
Wow.
This means we got to buy gifts now, Diener.
I know.
I don't say that. because
Great.
I don't want
Yeah,
anything.
you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you say that.
I don't want anything. You don't have to get me anything.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I love giving gifts.
Getting you
But
hard candy for Christmas.
just make it butterscotch, okay? Please.
You like butterscotch?
How about Werther's Original?
Oh, my God.
What's the matter? Who doesn't
Wait a
like?
minute, nobody likes butterscotch.
I love butterscotch.
So you like butterscotch and Almond Joy?
That's right. How about that?
Jen, I don't even know you anymore.
What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with butterscotch?
No
It's
one
great.
likes butter. It's grandma
Wait a minute.
candy.
You like butterbeer? What do you think butterbeer is? It's butterscotch.
That's not a hardened yellow candy in a scary wrapper. Nobody likes butterscotch.
Wait a minute. So does that mean that when you open up like a package of like the little Dum Dum Pops, you go for the 2 butterscotch pops they have in there?
There are no Dum Dums in my house.
No?
No. Tootsie Rolls only.
Oh.
If there is. Actually, the Blow Pops because my...
Blow Pops are good.
Yeah.
There's only one dum-dum in your house.
Okay. All right.
Speaking of candy.
Dum-Dums, yes. Another study.
Oh, wait, this has been the year of candy stories. I don't know why. You got your choice.
Okay.
What booze pairs well with candy?
Oh, right there. They can stop.
Any of them?
All right.
That's the story.
The other one was how much candy would you have to eat to overdose?
Really?
I say a full bag of anything.
Wow.
You can overdose on candy?
Like physically die from eating too much candy?
Like a sugar overload. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Or get really, really sick.
One or the other.
We'll find out.
We have a formula to tell you.
Oh,
that
good.
you can
Science
try.
has spoken.
Yes, we'll give
Love
you the
it.
scientific formula.
I'm
so
ready.
to avoid eating that much.
Sounds like it's going to be real hard hitting in the 9 o'clock hour.
Oh, by the way, you have to go to New York City because there's a new thrill thing. And you guys are going to love it.
Survive the Bronx?
No, well, actually, this is probably even scarier.
All right.
It's true.
And more coming up next. The South Florida Morning Show. Keep it here.